with a sense of shame. I've always been the one to blame.
Nancy Mace said that. Pissed off Mike Lawler. Boy, this General Michael Flynn is a nut job, huh? He's incessantly tweeting me since 6:35 this morning. I don't care. I don't care what he thinks, or now he's tweeting me. If you don't believe me, take a look at this same tweet, and it's a tweet from Joe Kent. Didn't we just fire Joe Kent, Noam?
Yes.
I mean, look at these group of people that are all over me on Twitter. General Michael Flynn, Joe Kent, Glenn Greenwald, Kyle Seraphin, and the best of all, the sickest of all, a real sick bastard, Alex Jones. They're coming after me. And lying. Alex Jones says, they love saying this. He's anti-Semites. They're all anti-Semites, every one of them. How do I know that? They call me Israel First Advocate. I'm not. I'm America first, but I love Israel. I'm Israel second. And that's the way most Americans are. Don't be fooled by the noise coming from the left and some of these psychos on the right. Most Americans know the deal. Israel's great. Bibi's great. They're our friends. But these idiots, these assholes are loud. So they think that they're, America's waking up. They're not waking up. Dummies. Israel First Advocate, said Rosenberg, wants to put massive troops on the ground. I never said that. I said I'd love to win this war without putting any troops on the ground. But I'm not Jack Keane. I don't know if we can do that. If we can, great. Great. If we can't, we got to do what we got to do to win. Is that not what I said? No.
That's pretty much exactly what
Right. Did I ever say anything enthusiastically about troops on the ground? Or
Not enthusiastically, not at all.
No, right. But that didn't stop Alex Jones from saying Rosenberg wants to put massive ground troops out there and annihilate Iran. Yeah, they don't even tell the truth. None of them do. Not Tucker, not Candace. They're all lying lowlives, all of them. So we'll talk to my friend Zach, the Misfit Patriot, coming up next. And then eventually we'll get to Nicole Maliotakis and John Katsimatidis, Harmeet Dillon, and George Santos. All that coming up. The Misfit Patriot, he's next.
Everything I ever do, every place I've ever been, everywhere I'm going to, it's a sin. A schooling taught me how to be, so you're involved from what I see. They didn't quite succeed. For everything I want to do, no matter where or when or who, have something in common too. It's a thing.
You can depend on us. New York's talk station, 77 WABC. WABC, Traffic and Transit.
Well, from the Apple Bank Traffic Desk, good morning, everybody. And again, we're looking at a pretty decent day as you travel 8th Street. There is an accident. The two left lanes are going to be out of service as you come on up to that. And again, it's on the outbound side, but inbound you have delays from the Van Wyck all the way on in again to Queens Boulevard. Now, we are going to be looking at the other major issue. This one's in New Jersey, though. Northbound on the Jersey Turnpike approaching interchange 12 on the outer roadway. There is an overturned tractor trailer, the left lane going to be out of service getting through there. Long Island Railroad delays on the Hempstead branch this morning. Also, no J service. Jamaica Center to 111th Street. That because of a pedestrian accident. And alternate side is in effect. Traffic is sponsored by Apple Bank. With an Apple Bank Pick Your Term CD, get a guaranteed rate of return that fits your 6 to 12-month timeline. Stop by an Apple Bank branch to open. Member FDIC, $25,000 minimum deposit required to open. New money only. Early withdrawal penalty may apply. I'm Joe Nolan with Traffic. Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Let's hear it for
WABC. This is what we do. Providing entertaining and informative talk, reporting accurate, breaking, and reliable news. Dancing every weekend with Cousin Brucey and the best music, the best talk, the best news, the best music. This is what we do.
77
This is a worldwide news network update.
The body of the late South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham is due to arrive at the Capitol tomorrow ahead of his funeral Wednesday in Washington, D.C. Choir member Juliana Lorick is one of the many people coordinating the services for Graham.
To be able to honor and recognize Senator Graham for his countless years of service to our country and to his state, we're totally excited and honored to be able to do this for Darlene and his family.
Graham's funeral will include a procession and an F-16 flyover. The Department of Agriculture plans to reopen a cattle port in Douglas, Arizona next month, allowing the return of Mexican beef imports to the U.S. That will end a ban put in place nearly 2 years ago over concerns of the New World screwworm outbreak in Mexico. The USDA says it will inspect the incoming beef thoroughly. Michael Wallace, Worldwide News Network, New York.
The views and opinions expressed by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect the policies or positions of WABC Radio, its management, or its sponsors.
Hey, it's Sid. I'll admit it. I snore loud. I've done plenty of night on the couch. That's why I'm getting Inhala. It's a doctor consult by telehealth, a sleep test in your own bed, and easy to get to throughout the tri-state area. And don't worry about the paperwork. They do it all for you. Best of all, it's covered by medical insurance and Medicare. Silent. No machine. No CPAP. You breathe naturally all night. Go to Inhala.com, INHALA.com, Inhala.com. Join me.
There's perspective.
You just got to keep an open mind.
And then there's New York perspective.
One man's line is another man's facts. Tired of the anti-American rhetoric.
Talk Radio 77 WABC.
This is Sid and Friends in the Morning.
77 WABC.
I remember when you were down and you needed a helping hand. I can't defeat you, but now that I need you, you won't give me a
Shout out to my guy Stuart Samuels out there in New York City today. Mr. Diamond, the great Stuart Samuel, huge fan of the show and love what I said on Fox. Let me spend 10 minutes with my friend Zach, better known as the Misfit Patriots, got a big-time show on LFA TV. He's the host of the Daily Breakdown, comes your way 9 a.m. Eastern on Live from America at rumble.com. And me and Siggy love him, and we get him on here quite a bit because he's smart. Misfit Patriots somewhere in San Antonio, Texas. Good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning, Sid. Great to talk to you again.
It just occurred to me that when my Knickerbockers were kicking your Spurs' ass, I never heard from you.
Yeah, well, good thing for me. I was actually born and raised in Boston, so I didn't care.
Good.
So it didn't bother me too much.
Good. Right, you live in Santa. Are you a Wembanyama fan? I'm just curious.
No, I'm not even a basketball fan really at all. I started giving up on sports when they started getting political. I'll watch a football game every once in a while though.
That's about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like acting. I wish they would just shut up and do their job. It's like play the game, do the movie.
Yeah, I agree. I thought what Trump said about LeBron this weekend was hilarious. So I'm going to play this quickly, Lou, and then we'll get to Misfit on the important stuff, talking about sports and athletes. This is President Trump, cut number 12. Pete Ducey, LeBron signs with the 76ers a 2-year, $8 million deal. But Ducey went right to Michael versus LeBron. Listening to this hilarious answer from President Trump.
Today, it was announced LeBron James has decided that he wants his next team to be the 76ers. Where do you stand on LeBron versus Michael Jordan as the best ever?
Well, Michael Jordan's a guy that's a friend of mine. Play golf with him. He's a really good guy. And I think LeBron is, maybe he's a racist, but maybe he doesn't like Trump. I don't know. But I only like people that like me.
I like that.
So I would say Michael Jordan all the way.
Two things hilarious here. I only like people that like me, so I'm good. But secondly, he goes, I don't know, maybe he's a racist. Is that not funny, Misfit?
Yeah, it's Trump's actual weakness is that one thing that everybody knows. It's like all you have to do is compliment him, and he'll just give you whatever you want.
Yeah, I know that's true. I've done that basically for the last 9 years, and him and I are great. I've got Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn, who went to prison, and there's all kinds of rumors, okay, about him being a Russian operative.
Mm-hmm.
He attacked me for my Fox News appearance on Saturday. It was really two things to attack, Iran and Mamdani. But him, and I mentioned these names just moments ago, Alex Jones, another psycho, and Glenn Greenwald, another loser, and Joe Kent, another loser. All these guys attacked me because I said that eventually the only way you win in this conflict against Iran is to completely wipe out the IRGC, complete annihilation. I still feel that way. I can't stand it every time Trump stops, which he's done again. He's done it again. And I said that on television on Saturday, and I have a feeling that Trump doesn't like it. But Michael Flynn actually sends Trump on Twitter a tweet on Saturday, Misfit, where he says, I know you like this guy Sid, but he's dangerous. Please don't listen to him. As if President Trump takes his policy advice from me. What a moron. But on a bigger note, what are your thoughts on all these guys attacking me on what I said about the Iran war?
Well, I think it's really rich of Flynn to be accusing anybody of, working on behalf of any foreign interest, right? Because he's an actual foreign agent. This isn't like, I'm not just saying that hyperbolically. He's registered on FARA for working with the Republic of Spurska, and that's Dodik, who is one of Putin's most vocal allies. Michael Flynn is getting paid $100,000 a month to work as a foreign agent on behalf of a Putin ally. Yet it's dangerous for you to come out and say, hey, the same strategy we used to end World War II, which is complete annihilation for total surrender, is hey, who's one of our greatest allies right now? Japan. You know why? We bombed them. I mean, it's not a crazy thing to say that the best way to stop this war with an ideological death cult is to annihilate them until they surrender. That's what you said. There's nothing wrong with what you said.
Thank you. That is what I said. Of course, they twisted it. They said that I want Americans to die. I want boots on the ground in massive numbers. I didn't say that. In fact, I said I'd love to win this without it. I'm not Jack Keane. Let's get to Mamdani. You're in San Antonio, Texas, Misfit Patriot, but you're all over this guy. You heard what I said about him on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it was very tame, you just calling him a terrorist, right? Because I think that we can take it a step further, right? Mamdani is the living, breathing, walking embodiment of the Red-Green Alliance. If you guys don't remember how the Ayatollah came into power, the radical Islamists would use useful idiot socialists because Iran was becoming more and more progressive when they started putting in colleges. And then those socialists are the first ones that were, wiped out as just like every other time authoritarians come in, the useful idiots. So he's been really successful at pushing this democratic socialism, but it's not democratic socialism. It is Islamo-Marxism, and people need to understand that it is just socialism wrapped up in this promise of free stuff. But what happens when you run out of other people's money? That's what's going to happen. And a socialist would probably take it a little bit slower, but Mamdani, he just called for the arrest of a world leader based on a fake criminal court. I mean, it might as well be the Court of Narnia, the International Criminal Court. It doesn't. They've convicted 10 people in 24 years. It's not a real court. It's a Zoom call with a bunch of UN aligned activists who don't understand what the definition of the word genocide is. So the fact that he thinks that he has that authority kind of is a prelude to how he would run if he were to ever be pinned into a corner. He would become authoritarian because he is an authoritarian.
I have a friend who says to me, Sid, I got bad news for you. I love you, but this whole Israel thing, it ain't working out for you. And Bibi, it ain't working out for you. I go, what do you mean? Well, the world is waking up. The country's waking up. And you're not fooling us anymore. And, we figured out that Israel's genocidal and you guys are killing babies and all the nonsense that all these anti-Semites push every day. And I said, I disagree. I think that the majority of this country, and maybe I'm just naive, but I think the majority of this country are good people and smart people and they know better. So, I disagree. I don't think that the United States and the world has given up on Israel and the Jews and Bibi. Who's right, Misfit?
Well, I like to say this, right? The internet is not real life, but it affects real life. I think a lot of people don't go past the first layer of their research where they just hear something, then they repeat it. I talk to people in the real world, right? I have a real job, and I go out and I interact with people, and I have seen a big contrast in how people message Israel online versus real life. But
Thank you.
I have had the random conversation, the rare every once in a while with like a friend who's like, yeah, well, Israel's going a little too hard, right? And what I usually do is I just shut them down with one thing. I go, harder than we did in World War II, and they usually just shrug and they go, "You know what? You have a point." Because you got to remember, the first bomb didn't stop Japan. The second one did, right? And that's what you were trying to sort of convey on Fox and Friends. You were saying there's when you're dealing with an ideological enemy, right? You're not dealing with some enemy that's being strategic or political. This is an ideological enemy. I mean, the Japanese were sending kamikaze divers into ships. They're not like they don't care about their own life. Yes, unfortunately, the way to deal with that problem is to sort of just decimate them to the point where they have no other option than to surrender. But I agree with what you said earlier about how Trump wants to do it the diplomatic way, and I think one of Trump's greatest qualities is he actually doesn't want to go that route, like the Lindsey Graham route, but he thinks that he's going to be the first person to successfully negotiate with these radical Islamic terrorists, and he unfortunately won't. So I give him credit for trying, but eventually you kind of have to say, all right, I gave it my best shot, and just send it.
Yeah, but when is eventually?
I think
I
now.
know
I
every
think it's
time.
now.
Yeah, but I've been saying that for 2 months, and maybe I'm wrong, but I know oil prices went down again. Great, it's back to 80 plus a barrel instead of 100. Every time he stops, the oil prices go down, the gas prices go down, but that's only short-lived because we're not sending our troops home. I know Joe Kent tweeted me yesterday, Mr. President, don't listen to Sid, send our troops home. We're not going to do that, okay?
Yeah.
We still have work to be done there. So we get the short-term fix, and oil goes back down and gas goes back down, and then guess what? We're going to be right back there doing something else, and it'll shoot right back up. This is becoming insanity. No?
Well, Joe Kent's the same guy who's been entertaining the conspiracy theorists about Charlie Kirk, how he was killed with an exploding microphone, or he did. Joe Kent actually was talking about how he wanted to open up an investigation into what his job was as like in the national security position or Department of Homeland Security position. He was looking into foreign terrorists, and Charlie Kirk was killed by a domestic terrorist. So he has absolutely no credibility as far as anything geopolitical. I understand he's a war hero. I respect his service, but he's a moron. That's the problem. He's actually just dumb. Like the problem, and I'm not even trying to be insulting. He really is a dumb person if you've listened to him talk. So I would rather get my geopolitical advice from my 5-year-old nephew. I don't need it.
Zach on the way out. You are terrific. Folks, check him out, 9 a.m. on Rumble. Tell me about the midterms. I ask everybody who comes on what they think and, the real Trump sycophants. And I'm one of those, they say we'll be okay, except I don't say that. I'm very nervous. What are your thoughts on what's coming up in November?
I had this analyst on my show the other day. His name's Chase Bowes, and he predicted the 2024 election. He only missed 8 races, right? 8 races and 2, I believe it was 8 races, 2 Senate races, and he got every single state right. He's very, very smart, and he was telling me that the models that he's using, which are progressively getting leaning more towards Republicans. Right now, they're down to keeping the Senate, and we have about 219 to 216 Democrat on the House. And I think that's actually very positive. I think the people like Mamdani and Graham Plattner and, the guy who was like a 93 Trade Center co-conspirator or character witness, that these DSA candidates, they're going to create even if it's not a walk away movement, I think they're going to create a big push to stay home in November for the left, which is why his models seemingly are changing more towards the House for keeping the House and the Senate. I'm optimistic, but I think that we need to play this like we're losing and treat this election like it's the most important because it is. If we give left power back one more time, they're not giving it back. I don't think that I think that what they are messaging is we are becoming more radical. We are not moving back to the center. We are going to basically throw nothing but Hail Marys and hope that we can sort of bully people into getting on board with our policy. Like not to I know we don't have much time, but the Mamdani thing, he like I said, he's talking about arresting political leaders. You have the DSA candidates talking about abolishing the Senate, opening the border, all this stuff, and that actually is turning people off. So their radical base, which is on both sides, the radical base is always the smallest portion. They're energized, but I think the moderate Democrats are not. I think they're going, I don't really feel this, and I hope I'm right. I think that they might stay home.
All right. Zach is great. Zach, the Misfit Patriot, once again, full-time host now on LF8TV. Check him out on the Daily Breakdown, 9 a.m. Eastern every morning on Rumble. Excellent job, Misfit Patriot, as always. Thank you for hopping on. I enjoy you immensely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sid. Have a good one.
You too. God bless you, Zach. Zach, right.